All right, ladies and gents, it's Rodrigo here with Benzinga, of course, and we're going to be going over some really interesting topics today. We're going to be starting in about 10 minutes with Nick Chahine, lead trader from the Benzinga Options live trading room. It's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already heard about this, the talk on the street, but we're going to show you how it works, actually. And we're going to talk about a couple of trade ideas, education, options chain, Delta, Greeks, a whole bunch of stuff. Make sure you're paying attention. It's going to be a good session here we have for you. So we'll see you here in 10 minutes, 9 minutes around there with Nick. We're going to get this thing started. We'll see you folks here in a little bit. All right, everybody, welcome to the session here. My name's Rodrigo. I'm going to be here with you today and with Nick Chahine, lead trader from the Benzinga Options Inner Circle chat room. If you're not familiar with that, Jason, I know you're ready. We're going to get this started in a bit. In the chat, let me know when you guys are ready to start. We're pretty much close here to finish. Let's just close this out. Just want to make sure everybody's good to go. But basically, Nick Chahine leads the options live trading room, where he's trading the whole day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, literally, and Sundays. He's also doing a market review, going over like 150 stocks, some crazy number. But just keep in mind today, we're going to be here talking about a bunch of stuff, right? So we're going to be jumping through different topics, trade ideas, education, a whole bunch of stuff there. So just so that we can kind of get a sense of what we're going to be going over today. And make sure to leave tickers at the end. We're going to be going over that. It's Ick. What's going on, man? Doing well. Ari Blitz in the house. Dr. Ari in the house. Let's go, man. Mohammed, what's going on, brother? Eric, ready. Jennifer is good to go. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. I think we have Mr. Nick Chahine in the background. He's in the building, from what I'm told.
He's in the building.
What's going on, Nick? Ted, how you doing, man? We got a packed house here today, Nick. How was the session today? I know you just got off of that one, right?
It was pretty good. People wanted to chat thesis. I said, let's concentrate on the charts because, as you know, this is a favor that I do for the members, which is basically do their homework for them. I don't mind doing it. It keeps me on my toes, but it's a lot of tickers. So in the last 3 weeks, we probably averaged 150. We had 1 week that was almost 180, and then 125, 128. So it's a lot of work, but it's important, especially after a day like Friday. So Friday was horrific. Do you want me to share my screen or what?
Yeah, go ahead, share the screen there. We can get this going. Nick, I know you have something special planned for the folks today here, so let's go ahead and get this started. Show them where the magic happens.
Well, that's not what the magic happened on Friday. So you're looking at the devastation for Friday. This is basically to show you that there were very few stocks that were green, and the selling was something different. Everybody says, why were we selling? Not a lot of people were asking, why were we rallying incessantly on the way up? So if I say what I want to say, it will upset people because I'm sensitive to the fact that there was actual pain on Friday in the portfolios, but we ran 20%, maybe more, 20% in a whole market, almost without a breather. Even if you want to consider this rally alone is 16%, a little bit more. So we haven't even given back half. So the way I would say it is this is normal price action. What makes it abnormal is the fact that the rally was abnormally huge. Therefore, the normal drop from this rally is also abnormally big. So the candle Friday is the biggest one I could find eyeball in a long time. So these were longer drops, but this is one candle and it opened almost at the top and closed exactly at the bottom. So the selling continued after hours. If you watched the indices, they kept on falling after hours. So the selling did not stop. So it feels more emotional than it should be, because if you think about it, okay, we rallied from here to here, forget what's the percentage. We haven't even given back half. So the bulls are somewhat in charge if you consider this stint right there. But Friday was definitely painful. So what do? We do homework, and we try to strategize going forward. For example, there was a whole mess of stocks that I shared longs, but with caveats. I said they had fallen into support, and they weren't stocks that were rallying. There were stocks that were falling into support. And I said, it's fallen to a position, to a location where I'm okay owning some shares for the long term. But even then, I would only deploy partial because the idea of being confident that this is a bottom, regardless of how good the stock opportunity is, according to you, is ridiculous, for the simple reason that the VIX is still as high as it is. So the VIX is actually, if you don't know what the VIX is, it's the fear gauge. And it literally measures how nervous the market makers are. So the market makers are people who sell you options. If you're looking to buy options, you're buying them from market makers, right? They're making the market by making something available for you to buy. And they're charging you according to what they're comfortable the risk that they're taking is. So if you're buying a call, they're in essence shorting that call. So they want to know that you're paying them enough that even if it rallies more, they can still make money or break even, right? And they're charging more on everything. That's why the VIX is high. The higher the VIX is, the more expensive all options are. So if the market makers say, I'm not taking any risk unless I charge this much more than normal, and it's quite a bit more than normal. The average, I think, is 19, and on Friday it was 25, 26. So if the game makers are nervous, I should be nervous. So if I believe that, for example, Palantir fell into the absolute bottom, I should leave doubt just from that market maker extra stuff, the extra premium that the market makers are charging. Simple way of saying you can't have too much conviction in your thesis, because who are you to be more confident than the people that actually make the game and rig it according to them? So just be humble. And also what's important is I am long Palantir, for example. I am not long 100%, and I did leave room for error. So I haven't actually lost a lot of money on it out of pocket, although my position is losing money because I sold a put spread. So my strategy would be to, number one, not add, because I don't know anything yet new. And if I get assigned at $8 per share, which is about where it is right now, I have no issues. I would sell the protective put, make money on that, and my break-even point would be closer to 7 than 8. So if you assign me the shares on Monday, if I wake up Monday owning shares at 8 because I am short the $8 put, it didn't expire, but I am shorted, so they could assign me shares, I'd make money immediately because I would sell the shares, sell the protective put, and be green about $1 per contract. If I did 10, I would make $1,000 out of being in a losing position. So I shouldn't panic. I shouldn't add. I shouldn't assume it's a bottom. I can nibble on longs. For example, Bitcoin is 2 words back to the base from which it sprang. When I said get long Bitcoin before it rallied, I didn't get many people jumping in, hey, how about Bitcoin? How about Bitcoin on Sundays? And then when it got to 14, 15 for Bito, for example, which tracks Bitcoin, everybody wants to get in. And today I had one person ask me about Bitcoin. I was like, you guys should be asking about Bitcoin now, because now it's coming back into the base. So when I said get long here, not many people took me up on it by asking. When it got to here, I got incessant questions about, hey, how about Bitcoin? Is it good to go now? I was like, no, it was good to go back then. If you don't own any, you could. So now only one person came to me saying, do we reload? So that person is really paying attention. So if I am not long Bitcoin, for example, I can nibble with a starting position, and definitely not all in, maybe 20% of what I want to allocate. And by the way, if you want to participate in crypto, Bitcoin is the leader of, it's the king crypto, basically. What Bitcoin does, everything does to a degree. This is a ticker that allows you to get involved in Bitcoin without risking. The biggest risk in Bitcoin is what? I'll give you a second to think about it. Most people will get this one wrong. The biggest risk in investing in crypto, it's where you put your money. Putting money in a platform that's a crypto platform that may or may not be here the next day, right? Not the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in 10 years. It's not the risk. It fluctuates, yes, but it's not the risk. This one allows you to trade Bitcoin with the same money you have that you're trading Apple with. So if you're okay with leaving your money in Schwab, you can trade Bito. Bito is an ETF, the first ETF that tracks the futures on Bitcoin, BTCF. So if you want to trade Bitcoin, this is your guy. There are 2 other things, GBTC and ETH, Ethereum. They're grayscale funds that allow you to do the same thing with regular money, but they don't have options. Anyway, long story short, Friday's devastation is just one day. Now there are technicals in place that say we might have another drop. So the strategy big time would be to take advantage of mini rallies to fix problems. Let me explain specifically what I mean. So on the S&P SPY, if we get a bounce on Monday, Tuesday, and you own calls that are red on Friday, and that bounce fixes your problem or makes it tolerable to where you say, "Ooh, thank God for that," I would take the advantage of that rally and exit, because we don't know if it's going to sustain itself, because technically we could be going to 382, 385, which is down here. Actually here. So there's target one at 401, there should be buyers in the SPY. But that's so close to 398, which has history for months and months back, that I think they want to test 398. If they get to 398, 393 is the actual target one, and 382 is target two. So target one is these two red lines are technical targets of patterns. There's no reason to go for both, but there's okay reason to come and test the 401. And if you do, you're probably going to test the 398. So at which point I would catch the falling knife. So the spirit is, if you see a rally, use it to fix your situation short term. Doesn't change anything long term. Like if I'm long Upstart for the long term, I'm not going to panic out. I own shares. I didn't book profits. They were substantial. It was half a position and out in time. I didn't add on the dip yet, but if it falls lower, I would reevaluate, maybe add. Well, depends on the environment. So it depends on if I want to add to Palantir or Upstart. I won't do both at the same time.
So basically, this is you provide trade ideas, education all day with the members in the chat. Anything in particular this week? Well, or they can show them. All these people are a couple of people asking questions about it.
Sure. So this is the list of this week. These are 126 stickers that the members submitted for review. There was a common theme, falling into support, and another common theme, support below, resistance above. Not much you can do. I wouldn't add. If I wanted to go for the long term, I would start. For example, somebody specifically said, is this a good time? When is a perfect time to get into Lucid? I don't have a perfect time to get into Lucid, but if you like the company long term, they said they believed in the company. I said, I believe in the car. I'm not so much sure I believe in the company. So far, they have not been able to execute on plans. Now, they had a pandemic disrupt their plans, but nevertheless, I don't see the same problems, say, from other companies. But anyway, so I am confident that Lucid will sell every car they make. The problem is, how many can they make, right? That's the problem. So if you want to get long Lucid to use one very volatile stock, you can nibble. You can't jump all in because we don't know what we don't know. Over the long term, close to $16 seems reasonable. I'm not sure. The valuation, you have to calculate how many cars they promise they can deliver, and they haven't been able to meet that promise forever. So maybe this time is different. And then you project to how much money they can make and assign some sort of value to it. For me, it's not that scientific. They're going to sell out of everything. Let's give them credit that they can do what they say they can do. We'll say that there is technical support below. So I go in 30% of my maximum position. So if I meant to own 1,000 shares, I wouldn't own more than 300, maybe 400 tops. All right. So the common theme is be careful. There are levels that need to hold just below. And if they fail, we go down lower, which would talk about that, which would go in line with the SPY comments. I told you we can test 401. We closed at 405. We can test 401 maybe even Monday, if not Monday, by Wednesday. And then bounce, and then maybe come down to 398. And just think about all the other stocks. All of these guys have to trade within that concept. Another ticker to track is the IWM, which I also covered it here, okay, so this is the S&P. The IWM represents really the market from a sentiment perspective because it's a basket of 2,000 stocks that are not too big. I think they stretch it up to 3 billion market cap. So with the IWM, if I go to 1 hour, maybe, okay, you can see how technically it looks like it triggered a head and shoulders. The downside target would be 180. There's going to be a lot of support along the way. So we lost the neckline, they can still recover it. So use the bounce to fix problems. That was my advice. Use the bounce to fix problems. If they don't recover 192 and stay above 182 and eventually take that out, this head and shoulders is in effect, and they're going to bleed lower, maybe in a descending channel. So I'm looking out for them to sell rallies. Rally sold. If we rally, they'll try to sell it. So keep that in mind, that rallies inside this descending channel that may or may not have started will be sold. Be ready for it. So the bounce, I don't start buying calls here. If you bought calls on Friday, you get a rally, I would imagine you would want to book it as a trade. So that's the story. All right, so that's the big picture. So what goes on with the membership? Some of you might already know it. I contribute with Benzinga on many different levels. So if you get into the inner circle, which I see that they popped in a banner to join, what you will get is basically a chance to hang out here, which is a more friendly chat room where I have a place where I post and nobody else can, so my posts don't scroll off the page. And every morning I give us a, like, markets are up overnight, but Powell's speech is tomorrow. I'll have a live room going, which I'll show you in a second. Actually, I won't show you in a second. I'll tell you about it in a second. And all the lines, the clickable charts, the S&P weakness this morning. So clearly we filled that weakness down. So I'll share all the levels that are important. This way you know how to manage your day. And then on the weekends, I just posted three videos. And that's to help you going over these. So I record these live just before I came here. I think we spent a couple of hours. I didn't time it, to be honest. I broke it into 3 different videos. And this way they're alphabetically lined up. And if somebody wants to just click on the charts here, they can. They can refer to this. It's open all week for them. In addition, this is the fun stuff. In addition, other than the chat room, which is here, for those who are lucky enough to have a flexible schedule, they can click on the live room link and they get transported to a room where I'm sharing my screen like here with you, and I have my mic, and I have about 300 and some people, 280 to 312, 320. And we discuss faster trades, and we discuss everything else in between. So if somebody is actively trading Tesla, for example, I will show them the Tesla charts. I should not have done that, but anyway. So we have Tesla comments, and to help them trade it actively. Friday was an aberration. Buyers, they showed up for like 20 minutes and then they disappeared. So Friday we said, okay, stop taking longs, stop expecting bounces. The last bounce that failed was right here late in the day. They gave the bulls some hope and then they snapped them like they were twigs, right? So I also do the same for all the indices. I have a screen shared on all the indices. Yes, leave. So I have the S&P, the Qs, and the IWM, VIX, the fear, and then SPX and SP and RUT. RUT is the index for the small caps. IWM is the ETF that tracks this. The SPY is the ETF that tracks this. Why am I so obsessed with that guy? This guy is a piggy bank right now. Absolute piggy bank. I don't know if you know that. Let's go there. The SPX now has an expiration every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday. So every day we have do we have a day off next week? Huh. Every day there's an expiration. So you can literally make a bet that expires in a couple hours. And we've been having so much fun with it. Friday was not fun for somebody that didn't exit early on the lower end, but it's an opportunity to get 20% in an iron condor or some fast trade just from taking a bet and needing nothing to happen. And we usually track it pretty well. Let me show you the, so these paths I've drawn ahead of time, like this orange path right here. I've drawn ahead of time, and then it comes to fruition. Sorry, the yellow path. And it's an opportunity to make some money. Like on the open, we sell a call spread if we can, if we're rallying. On the dip, if we open down, I try to sell a put spread. If you don't know what these are, they're positions where I take risk about 12% yield on risk that says, you know what? I don't know where you're going to stop falling, but I think you've fallen enough. I'm going to give you a little bit more room. And as long as you don't crash beyond that, I'm going to make money. And I'll make the same bet on the opposite side. So I end up with an iron condor. And then for fun, late in the day, sometimes we do an iron butterfly, which is the kind of opposite, not quite, but where we're pinpointing the range, then saying, okay, the close is going to be at 42.70 or 60. And if you nail it, you make a ton of money with risking very little. These are low opportunity, low odds bets with very small risk with very big payouts. And we make them work often enough to where they're worth going for. So in the live room, a lot of action happens. But let's say you're a person with a normal schedule and you cannot make it into the live room. You're not missing, because whatever happens in the live room, it's for fast trades. And if the debate carries on to an opportunity that takes longer to develop, I will share it in the chat room, which is open 24/7 for you. So if your schedule doesn't allow you to be in the live room, don't feel like you're not getting your money's worth. The live room I created last, and it was bonus. Just people wanted to see my charts, and I said, okay, I'll show you my charts. And I'm sharing my screen all day, every day. Show me somebody else that's doing that for you. I'll be here all day. I'll be here 24/7 in the live room. Hit me up anytime. I'll be here twice on Sunday. So value is there. The effort is there. Trade alerts, I wouldn't consider me a trade alert person, although I share my trades. I'm more of an education program where if you want to improve your skills, I guarantee it. I guarantee you will be a better trader in my program, regardless of how you trade. Options, futures, I have futures traders only in there. Equities, a blend of everything. I guarantee it that you're going to learn some stuff that's going to make you a better trader. And guess what? Hey, Hot Rod, do we have a guarantee? I think they're giving a month guarantee, but I don't want to quote that without getting confirmation. So I'm telling you, you're going to be a better trader. And if after 2-3 weeks you don't think so, you can call and cancel. No questions asked. How do I trade the SPX on the 15-second? I don't trade it on the 15-second. I use the 15-second charts to find fast trade opportunities for somebody that wants to. So my active window has 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and 5 minute charts. And yes, we do go down to 15 seconds because why would we want to do that? Most people don't have access to sub 1 minute. And if we're competing against most people, we see 4 times as much data as they do. And with 4 times as much data, we're pretty darn unbeatable. For example, let me see if I can show some example here. So this is a 15-second chart. Well, now the market's closed and it's going to look ridiculous. So you have to trust me on that one. The 15-second charts, the most difficult part about it is controlling your emotions, because every candle looks like, whoa, look at that one, but it's not really. It's a little candle, a little tiny candle. We can go to 1 second, but I never do. It's useless. We go to 1 second 10 minutes before the day ends because we get this, the 10 till 4 madness, the one candle at 10 before the hour every day. Go check it out. You get this massive move out of nowhere, up or down. I think it's something to do with the deadline where funds need to report their whatever, blah, 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 some Wall Street jargon. They keep changing those rules. What trading platform do I use? Okay, so I use E-Trade and Thinkorswim. I'm not recommending either. In fact, E-Trade is easy to learn, it's made for options, but it's full of bugs. And I feel like the company doesn't care, which is pretty weird. Thinkorswim is overkill. Somebody can easily get lost in there. But if you want good charts, Thinkorswim is pretty good. Fills are good on both. Order fills. So if you're doing spreads and it's a liquid ticker like the SPX or the SPY, no issues with filling. So those are the two. I hear other trades, other platforms are better. Not for options, not for me. There are quite a few people in my group that do Fidelity, but I just can't imagine they have a good option platform. They need to buy Robinhood. I mean, they bought companies before. I know that for a fact. A friend of mine sold his company to them. So anyway, let's see what else. So the expectations for you are to get a better understanding of how the intraday price action happens if you're able to join in the live room. The education that happens in the live room is nonstop. No kidding, nonstop. I mean, fun, tense. I recorded a session. I didn't release it. We were waiting for the close, and I said the close will be at 4180, I think it was, or 4160, whatever it was. It was 70 cents away from it, which means that we won on that bet. And we were hooting and hollering, and I have it on tape. I just didn't release it. I'm too lazy. Not too lazy, got too busy. Let's see here. Do I recommend ThinkScript and automated trading for faster trading opportunities? Well, if you can't trade fast enough, then use whatever tools that Thinkorswim gives you. Then in that case, sure. I think you can also trade from out of Excel with them. I never need to trade that fast. My style is not that fast. I'd rather I find it much easier. Here, let's just start with the type of trading I like. If I didn't have the service and I was trading all by myself, I'm going to use Tesla because it is easy. What do you mean easy? Tesla easy? What are you, crazy? This guy's lunatic. No. What is this? Oh, because it's split. See, TradingView, why did I do that? None of my lines translate down lower because it's split. So now I have to do all of this. All the homework gone. They used to adjust. Thinkorswim adjusts, I think. I mean, what is that? Now I have to go and make sure that all of them are deleted.
Nick, really quick here. Tom has a quick question here. He's asking, I don't see the QQQ on your charts. Do you regularly trade Qs or more SPY SPX?
I don't trade the Qs. I regularly cover it for my people. Yeah, it's part of it. Is on there. You missed it. It is on there. So I just deleted every note. Okay. So this is a more recent comment. All right, so here's the deal. My method so don't worry about it. If you want to trade the Qs, we got you. That's what I'm saying. In fact, somebody said, give me an iron condor for the QQQ for next week. I forgot the date they chose. I said, I don't want to do it, but if you're asking me for one right now, I shared it. And by the end of the day, it was already in the red on the one side. So they had a 20-cent loss per contract. So if they did 10, they were down $200, which is not the end of the world. And the trade could still work out, but they took it. It wasn't my trade. I was just answering their question. If you had to do an iron condor right now, where would be the lions? And I shared the lions. Okay, no problem, Tom. So if you tell me, is it good to buy a call in Tesla right now or not? I would say, you know what? I find it much more easier to sell a put because I find it easier for me to say, I can tell you that Tesla is probably not going to go to 200 in the next 4 months. And I can make money off of that statement versus the confidence I would have. Yeah, Tesla is going to go to 340 and me making money on that statement. You know what I mean? So now if you tell me Tesla is breaking out of 316, I'd say it's going to 380. But right here, right now, it's falling into support. It's probably going to find buyers, but it's not the kind of stock that would allow you to buy a call and hope for the best because it's too volatile. Well, now because it's split, the call's a little bit cheaper, but it's still a high dollar stock and it still loses value quite quickly. So I would rather make money off of my statement of, I don't think it's going to go below X and make money off of that. So I don't need to use a machine to trade. But if you're trading, like I have a couple of people in the room, James comes to mind. They're extremely fast traders, and I would hope they have some sort of an automated process. Okay, so if you are brand new to options and need to learn basics, still a good plan to take. Ron says no. Ron, okay, I disagree. If you jump in there and hope to learn by osmosis, maybe you won't learn. But if you ask me a question a day, you're going to learn something new a day. So if you're new and you come in and, oh, that was a Tesla. Okay, Ron, high five. So that's the timing of the question and your answer. So Kelly, if you want to learn, I should have pulled them up. I have videos that are in there that are, although I don't know where to find them anymore, Hot Rod. I mean, I can find them because I have the URL for them, but I think you guys need to. Okay, so I wish I was going to get it. So now we have to unshare and reshare. So what Hot Rod's showing you are the static videos, but I don't see them listed in the menu anymore. I know they're there. You might want to tell the developers to highlight it. How do you get to those from the menu? The new dashboard thing you guys created. So anyway, so start with the videos. The videos are static. And the first one, for example, is what's a put option? And then another one, what's a call option? What's a spread? What's a credit spread? And if you watch the first one and you have questions, come to me and say, what did you mean by this? Can you say it in a different way? We can debate it, even live if you want to.
Really quick here, Nick. I'm getting a ton of questions and emails here for the live trading room. So I'm going to go over this really quick, then we can head back here into the session, folks. And thanks a lot again for sending these questions, guys. So we have here from Phil, what is the chat room schedule? Phil, so basically the chat room schedule is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. and Sundays from 10 to 1, right? So Eastern, everything on Eastern time. Good question there. Next question, are the sessions on Sundays recorded? Yes, they're all recorded. And Nick actually posted it. He just came off that session on Sundays. So next question here, money back guarantee. Yes, we do have, just for the Labor Day special, a 30-day money back guarantee, right? No questions asked, 30-day money back guarantee, anybody that joins. And next question, does everybody that joined gets a free laptop? Yes. Yes, we are going to be giving away free laptops for everybody that joins. So, and I guess the last question here we have here from the folks is, does this help with education? And that's an amazing question. And I can tee it off there to Nick so he can expand a little bit on the education. Alex, it's a Chromebook free. Techno, please, sir, I want to learn more on how to trade. I'm a beginner. Technopop, you can find a ton of videos. But Nick, what would you say there for Liz, who has that question on the education?
I just answered it. You must not have been listening. But Kelly had the same question about 5 minutes ago, and I went through it. The education is there for whoever wants to learn. So you can go to Harvard and not pick up a single piece of information, or you can go to the smallest rinky-dink school and learn a ton more. It all depends on how engaged you want to be. I'm not going to hold a class and force feed you information. I'm going to give you all the information you need to get started and come back to me with questions. And every question you ask will be answered. I don't care how silly you think it is. What's the call option? I will answer it. What's a put option? I will answer it. Hey, I like the stock. How do you think I can use options to get long the stock? I will answer it. I'm in this trade. I don't know why I took it. I'm stuck. How do I handle this? I will answer it. How would you, if you liked Lucid, how would you get long? I will answer it in details. So is the education there? I'm here in this chair all day, every day. So if you have a question, it's going to get answered, and learning comes from answers. I will answer all your questions. How's that for education? And I will offer you knowledge all day if you want to listen. I don't hold official class on options because I have the videos that are standing there for you to go watch them at your leisure. And then they should prompt questions, follow-ups. Okay, I provide a definition of what a call option is. I tell you what it's used for. How can you use it? So you come to me and you say, hey, I watched this call option video. I like it. You think I can use it to get long Apple in the long term instead of buying shares? Or I'm long Apple shares. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I had a discussion with two members. They're long Apple from like when it was a single digit almost. And they're asking what can they do? I said, well, if it was in my hands, I would sell covered calls. And I explained it. And I said, boy, you guys must love that entry cost for you. And for tax purposes, you might not want to do that because you don't want to lose that cost basis. But in my hands, I would do it anyway. It's thousands of dollars just waiting to be milked. So Yes. Education, yes. Formal classrooms, not anything beyond what I already do, which there's a lot of classrooms. Every day, it's a classroom in the live room. Not everybody can join, but we do have over 300 people in there. A lot of them pop in and out, but at all times, I have 300 people. So pop in. You might pick up something. Or if you have a trade that's going sour and you're worried during the day, pop in. You know I'm there. Hey, Nick, I know you're busy. Look at this stock. It's falling. I made the mistake. I bought some calls 2 days ago. What do I do with them? We'll handle it. It will be a learning process. Okay, I'm going to reshare my screen if that's okay. I'm going to steal it back. There we go.
Yep.
All right, so basically, the inner circle gang, is tight knit, and you have 24/7 way of reaching me. We can talk here at your leisure, direct messages, or in the open forum. You're going to meet with me on Sunday for 2 hours and have a free webinar on your tickers. In this case, it was 126. Last week, I think it was 128. 2 weeks ago, it was 176. Yes, 176 stickers. It takes hours just to type up this stuff. And I don't have a secretary. This is all me. So, and you have a link to where you can access it anytime you want. In fact, I can give you the links here if you want. Since you made the effort to be here, this link gives you that spreadsheet. So this will be up until it's no longer applicable. Make sure to know that these are just as of today, the charts, Friday. So we do trade actively during the live room, which is a place where you're watching my screen live like this. How am I available 24/7? I have a phone, and if somebody posts and I check my chat room, I see your message. I'm not going to ignore you. Like, I answered questions on the weekend. I'm not closed until Monday. So if you ask a question on Friday or Saturday, I'm going to answer it. That's 24/7. I'm not going to sit there waiting for you to post something. Scroll up. It's right there. It's the bit.ly link. Oh, it didn't go to everybody. Okay, so we'll go to everyone. My bad. Here. All right, Ted's paying attention. Thanks for keeping me honest there, Ted. All right, Sam, join. You'll see. It's amazingly fun. The camaraderie in the group is beyond expectation. So every once in a while, I have something where I need to go. Like on vacation, I went on vacation for 11 days in July. Somebody volunteered to share their screen all day, every day. The other day, I had to go for a TSA meeting. Somebody shared, somebody else shared her screen for the couple of hours I was missing to keep everybody organized. So the camaraderie is amazing. And, I've become better at answering without getting emotional about things, because it's hard to keep up with 300 people asking questions all day without getting short every once in a while. But Nick 2.0, surviving almost a month in, no issues. It's been a growth step for me, and I think the whole room is better for it. We are more productive, because the more ideas that come in from other participants, the better. And I'm not a talking head in there. There are at least a dozen people that share their trades all day, every day. There are a couple of people that are good at swing trades opportunity. They see something that's overextended for 2-3 weeks. They say, I'm going out to buy a September put in the XLF at this level. And every day people follow them. And then they go, hey, Ryan, what did you do with your put? Nothing, I'm still in it. So they're not my ideas, but they are ideas nonetheless. Are there options available in the futures? Yes, Sam, and you should look into them, especially people with smaller accounts. I believe they are exempt from the active trader rule. So you definitely want to learn about them before you delve in. Anything you do new, please use fake money. When you go to war, they take you to boot camp. They give you rubber bullets. Not even. They give you no bullets. They give you fake guns, and then real guns with fake bullets. And then they give you real guns with real bullets. And then they say, okay, now go to war. You don't go to war from day one. You have to use fake money. And if you feel you are missing out on something, don't do it. This is your FOMO kicking in. Our instinct is to follow humans. If you see a bunch of people running out of a room, you're going to turn around and run with them. You have no idea why they're running. You should be headed back into the room in investing. Somebody may have left an opportunity. They may have left, the way I say it sounds funny. Somebody may have left a wallet. Go back in there and get it. The opportunities are usually when other people panic. So when markets are falling out of control, I do the homework and see if it's worth it to go out there and say, you know what? Yeah, you're running away. It seems like you want. I'll give you a couple of real examples in a second. So Conrad has a question. Please explain credit put spread and what is it called? It is called a credit put spread. Using Fidelity and seems not to able to do it. Okay,
Yep.
Good question, Conrad. We will do that for the next 10 minutes.
Really
I
quick here,
believe-
Nick, before we do get into this right now, because I know there's a lot of material to cover. We're posting because a lot of people are asking me how to join. We posted the link there on the chat, folks. So for those that are on the Zoom call, make sure you're looking at the chat. That's where we posted the link. And on YouTube, make sure it's on the chat. You can see it there. So I think we're good to go there, Nick. Just kept getting a couple questions about that.
All right. So Conrad is asking a very fundamental question. So I'm going to use AMD to make the point. No need for introductions. I believe most of you know what AMD is. Great leadership. Probably half as cheap as NVIDIA. So cheaper than NVIDIA. Probably 3 times more expensive than Intel. Let me tell you my perception. Intel, not perception, that's reality. Intel is the beast that they're all chasing. It's bigger than both of them put together twice, but has no respect. Intel is a manufacturer, so it has all the problems of all the supply chains because it makes stuff. And also has no respect. And it's single-digit PE. So if I'm looking to invest in a stock, I would buy stock in Intel and just forget I own it for a while. I wouldn't buy calls. I could sell puts to own shares, but that's a more convoluted question. So I'm going to answer please explain a credit put spread and what is it called? First of all, it is called a credit put spread. I'll show you what it is. Some people call it bull put spread. It's a position that, let's annotate. It's a position that allows me to take a risk while leave room for error. Let me show you what I mean. So this is where it is right now. What if I say, you know what? This stock is not going to be below 50 this year. Okay, this is not a trade recommendation, folks. This is an illustration of how I would use a credit put spread. So if I decide that it's not going to be below 50, I'm going to take a risk here and open my risk. And the risk is called credit put spread, bull put spread. It is a bullish position. But unlike buying stock, if I bought stock here because I think that it hit a bottom, I need a rally to win. If I bought calls, I not only need a rally to win, I need it like right now because time is my enemy. Tick tock, the value of my call is dying. That's why people lose a lot of money because they buy a whole bunch of stuff. And guess what? Most purchases go to waste. Just like in the casino, most players lose. They have a lot of fun, but they lose. And the casino wins all the time. That's why it exists. The options market exists because most everybody loses. So they keep people winning just enough to keep the rest coming. So what you want to do is not buy options, but sell options, right? If most buyers lose, then most sellers win. That's the concept. So think like a market maker. So I place my risk here, and this is a credit put spread or bull put spread. I don't care what you call it. And the way it works is if price doesn't fall through it, I win. That's the only scenario that blows me out. If it rallies, I win. If it doesn't rally, I win. If it falls to here and stops, I win. So I have this much buffer for more problems, and I can still win. And the day I open the trade, I collect money. Money does not leave my account. Money goes into my account. What happens? If I had 100,000 in my account, and let's say the maximum loss of the trade, and I know exactly the maximum loss from the minute I open it. If the maximum loss is 5,000, then now they will reserve 5,000 in margin. This is not the same as margin when you borrow to buy stock. There's no borrowing in options. The margin, the term margin means if you had 100,000, now they will lock up 5. That's the margin requirement to take that risk. So now you have 95,000 to work with. I'm just using this as a round number. So how does that actually happen in the market? Now, how does that work? So if we go to this, and if I go to AMD, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to show you. Well, let's see. This is January of next year. So I chose 50, so I better go down to 60. I may have gone too low. So if I sell the 55.50 or the 50.47.5, so I said 50, so I'm going to take a risk at 50. In options, when I sell a put, this side is a put. I'm opening risk, and if I buy another put below it, I'm limiting my maximum risk. Okay, so I'm collecting a credit for taking a risk at 50. So that's a credit put spread. So I already jumped into too much information. Let's say you know nothing about options. Let's have a crash course on options. So I just answered Conrad's question. So you have to have money in the account to back up the losses. Well, you have to have money in your account to trade, right? Same deal. It's no different. You have to have money in your trading account in order to take risk. When you open a risk, the platform wants to know that you have enough to cover the oh shit moment. So
yeah, hey, really quick here, Nia asking if there is some sort of trial before you join. Nia, that's the 30-day money back guarantee. So that's just, so it's the same thing basically for 30 days.
So Raja asks a legitimate question. Bryce, I'll get you in a second. So Raja is asking, how much is the risk reward ratio that you take on with call spreads? With call spreads, we're talking about put spreads right now. That's on you. You choose your level of risk. For me, if I'm buying upside hope because I have a breakout in the chart, that's the only time you would catch me buying anything. If I have an active breakout on a shorter time frame that I know the pattern is triggered and the measured move or targeted move is from here to here, I would buy something. Otherwise, I wouldn't. And I would want to buy it with high odds of success. So as close to the money as possible, because I don't want to guess how far up it's going to go. I want to know that if it goes up, like I say it's going to, I want to be participating, because there are ways of where you can buy a call, which is bullish, get a move, and you still lose money because you buy a call too cheap. And these theoretical odds of success are junk, which is a perfect time to explain what options are and answer Bryce. Bryce says, don't know anything. Thank you for admitting it. Kelly, also, you two belong in the group because you have the right attitude for it. So let's explain what options are. All right. So this is an options chain that we're looking at. I picked AMD, so let's stick with AMD. Okay. If you guys prefer Apple, we can do Apple since everybody knows Apple. All right. So Apple has a whole bunch of contracts. There's one every week. So I'm going to pick October. And options are contracts. They have stipulations, they have terms. When you enter into a contract with your insurance company, there are terms. When you buy a car, there's a terms to the contract. You buy a house, there's terms. You get a divorce, there are terms. So there are terms to every contract, right? So let's walk through the important ones here. First term is the underlying. Everything on this page is Apple. You see it right there. And another thing is time. How long is this contract for? In this case, I chose October, 54 days. So 53 after tomorrow is open. So everything here is for 54 days on Apple. Now, another term is quantity. Everything here represents 100 shares. So if I buy one put, if I buy one call, everything on this page is 100 shares. Okay. Price. This is the price of Apple. You can choose whatever price level you want. buyers and sellers. Another price, that thing called the mark, that's the price of the option itself. There's one here for the calls. Okay, so now so far we have terms that are not hard to understand. Now we start getting sticky. Okay. The sticky part is where you're going to need help and you're going to need me, because those are the details that usually where people start making mistakes. Nobody's going to pick the wrong stocks. You guys are all good at picking the right stocks. It's all about the timing. So what better place than to be in a room with 300 other live traders, or I don't know how many we have, 3,000, 4,000 members of the chat room, which is static, where I'm available 24/7 waiting before you call.
Nick, and
this place. Yes.
Since you're talking about the education, it just came to my mind really quick that I forget the user, the person, but it was somebody that was trying to make a trade and they showed you a screenshot and they were doing a totally different trade.
Well, I'm on it. I'm Hot Rod. I'm going there. So I know where you were going with that. So what he's saying is, what I was saying also was that up to these basic information that we just shared, almost everybody can do that blindfolded. The next steps require you to be engaged with other people, where I think you're going to benefit tremendously from being with other people that are doing the same things. So if you're iffy about a part of the trade, or you need handholding through doing a trade, then you would jump into the chat room and say, hey, I'm busy at work. I can't be in the live room to trade fast, but I did have that question nagging at me. Straighten me up. Or I did something, I don't know what I did. What did I end up with? Or how can I took this spread with a mistake. How can I fix it? Or I bought this call spread and now it's in the red. Should I close it? All these questions will be answered almost instantaneously. As soon as I see it, if it's urgent, I'll be all over it. So that's a place, as a member, you will have recourse to hit me in the static chat room, or if it's during the business day and you can get away to ask your question from your desk at work or with family, then you pop into the live room and say, I know you guys are busy, but if you can answer my question, that'd be great. And this way you will have a live answer with audio. And, I can't do audio in this because clearly I'm not sitting there 24, but in the live room where I'm sharing my screen during market hours, I can definitely do the audio for you. So membership has its privileges if you're old enough. That used to be the tagline of American Express. Okay. So the education piece is there all the time. If somebody gets in trouble, or somebody wants confirmation, or somebody wants hand-holding through a trade setup they saw that I posted, like say, okay, you told me about SoFi. I'm really unclear about the difference between buying shares or buying a call. Why is this better than that? Which one should I do? That type of thing. So I would answer as honestly as I can. I'm not going to manage people's books, but I'll help you avoid mistakes if possible. And if there is a mistake, I'll help you mitigate lessen the impact, the negative impact on it as much as possible. Like the other day, somebody perfect. Somebody reached out to me on the weekend, freaked the hell out. I'm going to do you a favor. If you trade on Thinkorswim and you trade the SPX on a daily basis on these expirations every day, the SPX is an index. You cannot buy the SPX. So there's no deliverable. Like if I go to buy, I can't buy shares of the SPX. I can buy calls and puts. So it's what they call cash settled. There's no delivery in options. Versus in Apple, if I buy a call and it goes into money, I can call and ask, hey, give me my shares. If I sell a put and it goes into money, I can wake up owning shares because there's a delivery. They can deliver Apple shares. They can't deliver SPX shares, right? So if you sell a spread and it goes into money and you let it expire into money and you win, you're going to get a nasty email that's going to make you need to change your pants, because this person who's a pretty good trader, but it was his first time letting SPX expire into money on Thinkorswim, he gets an email saying, you've been assigned SPXW. And your margin call is like $2.5 million. He's messaged me in panic. What? I thought you said it was a cash settled. I said it is. For some reason, Thinkorswim doesn't stop these emails. So you're going to sweat all weekend thinking you have to deal with a $2 million mistake, whereas it's just, it will disappear on Monday. It's just bizarre that they don't stop these emails. So understanding and having recourse, why does it say participants can now see my application? Anyway, I thought you could. So you have recourse to come in and ask questions. Let's say you freaked out, you jump in here and you ask this. I bet you 2 or 3 people would come out and answer you, saying, hey, we've seen this before, don't worry about it for now. So options, regular stock equity traders. I have a few futures traders that come in and say, hey, Nick, can you cover the ES for us? That's the S&P futures. Yes, the SPX is the S&P. The SPX is the index. This contract is the futures contract that tracks the SPX. The SPY is the ETF that tracks the SPX, but the SPX itself is the S&P. Same as the RUT is the NASDAQ, not the NASDAQ, is the Russell 2000 index. The IWM is the ETF that tracks it. Same as the NDX is the NASDAQ index, and the QQQ is the ETF that tracks it. Do I want to buy the bid and sell the ask, or vice versa? Here's my deal. I'm going to show you something. If I'm talking options, I don't have bid and ask anywhere here. I don't give 2 rips about it. I trade options on tickers that are liquid, and it's always going to fill on the mark. So,
Nick, big shout out here to Jesse for joining the Options Inner Circle chat room.
So Ron is asking an excellent question. How do you prepare with futures the night before so I can trade the next day? So tonight, I will wait for the futures to open, which are 3 o'clock my time in California. I will see how they're behaving. I will check versus the levels from Friday. This is Friday. That was horrific, right? So I have to look back far to see where they bounced from last time and see how significant it is. I also see the head and shoulders right there with the target of 3. I placed the target of 3,960 on Friday here based on this head and shoulders. Did I put it on here? Maybe I did. All these notes are for intraday trading. I'll update them. The bummer about it, the biggest bummer, is that we lost the February 23rd support right there. That was the flash crash from the Ukraine war. We needed to hold it. We didn't. So I will look on the price action here. I will do a video for my outlook for the week, and I have a specific plan for the week. And that's a video that goes out. It's about 8 minutes, maybe 10. Goes out to all the members and will be posted in the chat room tonight. So some of you will read it tomorrow morning. In addition, in the morning, I will have a write-up update about what happened by the morning and what could happen and what to look for and the signs of reversals and what to do with bounces. And then in the middle of the day, I will have another update, maybe with a trade alert or setup, maybe. Depends on the environment. And we go from there. So how do I deal with it? I take clues from every line. I project targets. I say what I would do with counter trend rallies. And I use the options positioning to see where are the positions in the SPY expirations that expire on Monday. Maybe they can give me clues as to where they want to close. On Friday, they weren't good clues. Something broke on Friday. So there's a lot of nuances right now. Can I email the attendees list of stocks? Can you email?
We have a question there on the YouTube side. Ilmatic asking if this is lifetime. No, Ilmatic, this is just for the year. But if you do want a lifetime, send me an email. Technopop, sir, how can I join the chat room? We posted the link there in the chat, Technopop. So we'll just post it again there for you.
Lifetime. I mean, I don't know how cheap you want it, and you want it to be a quality. Okay, so it doesn't get, and to be honest, it doesn't get cheaper than that, and it's way too cheap already. I don't set the price. That's a Benzinga thing. I've been working with Benzinga since 2011. So I trust them that they know what they're doing on the marketing side. I deliver great content with tremendous effort. And if I were pricing this alone, it'll be like $1,000 a month. It wouldn't be $1,000 a year or whatever it is a year. It's just that it doesn't pay. It doesn't reflect to the amount of effort that goes into it on an individual basis. And think about it differently. If you wanted to go get a course on how to tie shoes in the college somewhere for a year, how much cheaper is it than this? And how much are you going to make money at that? You're going to learn some stuff you're going to apply for a lifetime. And it's a classroom that goes on for a year at your own speed. You want to learn something, you jump in. You don't want to learn, you want to tune me out, you don't log in. Simple as that. You log in, I'm there. You're busy, you don't log in, I'm there.
Right. And somebody has a quick question here. Is the chat so basically this started as an options chat room, Tommy, but basically Nick expanded the chat room and he does cover crypto. So that's like an addition that he brought into the mix, just like the live room where he's there the whole day. That was not part of the service. That was not requested at any point. That's something that Nick did on his own because he wanted to connect with the members of the chat room more.
Right. I keep upping the ante, and it seems to be that Benzinga other people on Benzinga see it as a good thing because it trends. People try to say, "Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Let's do it." Chat room. I think I was pretty much the first years and years ago on the MarketFi side. So anyway, it's good practice to make yourself attainable to the people who follow you, because it's imperative that they have a way to get answers, especially if there's an open trade during a volatile time. I use the term violent for charts, but it sounds horrible in other contexts.
Quick shout out here. Quick shout out, Kelly Auciello. Welcome to the family, Kelly.
Is this the Kelly that's looking to learn? I'm glad you joined.
Yeah. And by the way, really quick, Kelly, make sure that when you check your email, because there's an email, it says like laptop delivery, something like that. Make sure that you fill out the form with the address where you want us to send the laptop to. Typically, that's the main issue. If for any reason we can't send it, we don't have the address. So make sure that you fill out that form. It's going to be on your email, Kelly. All
right, Kelly, we'll see you in the chat room, maybe in the live room too. What does it mean, the trade volatility? I've been losing money ever since the volatility skyrocketed on options. Okay, so Shah is asking, how come they're losing money when volatility skyrocketed? Because you need to be surgical. Are you buying options? Are you a buyer of options? And if so, are you a buyer of options? I can save you the trouble by telling you one thing right now. Two things for Shah. If you're losing money up the wazoo and you don't know what's happening, stop. You sell them, then stop. Something is wrong in your method that doesn't work in this environment. So stop, figure out what's going wrong, go back to using paper money. When you figure it out, go back to using real money. And I'm going to make it too simple. Two things you need to add. First thing, don't take a trade without specific purpose. Have a reason. No trigger, no trade. And if you tell me, I thought it was going to go up. No, that is not a reason. Why did you think it was going to go up? Okay. You need to be able to explain it to me or your parent. Like for me, my mom is 90, clearly has, cannot take a lot of risks. So I would say, hey, here's why you need to give me your money to put it in this trade because A, B, C, D. If you can't do it, then you're not being honest with yourself. Why is your mother's money more important than yours? Okay, so be honest with yourself. If you can't specifically explain the reason why you're taking this trade, because then you don't know when to exit, which Noel mentioned. You also need second part. Let's say you find the reason. You need an exit strategy. If things go great, where do I exit? if things go bad, where do I exit? So when I take a risk, I decide I'm willing to take that much pain and nothing more. And I'm willing to exit here for profit and let it run without me, that's fine. So if you just add those two things, one, have a specific reason before you trade, and two, have a specific exit point if things go well or things go bad. I
Nick,
bet you'll improve a lot.
Joe has a very interesting question here. How can he take advantage of the chat room if he has a full-time job?
Okay, so before I move up to that question, Shah, I think you should join. It sounds like your timing is a little off. I can help. I'm super good at reading charts in plain simple English and explain them to you. So if you come to me and say, what do you think of this stock? I can provide pretty good secondary information to you to make your trades bulletproof to a degree. So before you take their next trade, come to me and say, I'm looking to buy calls or puts. What do you think? All right, so what was that? How can I do it with a full-time job? Then just check into the static chat room a couple times a day, once a day, and see if there's a trade in it for you. Once a day, I try to share a trade that does not require anybody to be any chat rooms, but the chat room would be a method of communication. So emails go into spam, or you forget to turn it off, or you delete it by mistake. You know to log into the chat room once a day. You may have a trade sitting there waiting for you.
Right. So this is basically a trade that would not need any babysitting, something that you don't have to be stuck to the chart watching, right?
Correct. This is something that I prefer. I like to be, I like to trade around a set of circumstances. And I started to get down the road of using AMD as an example. I'm going to mention it. You know where AMD is right now, right? During the pandemic, it was falling, and it was in the 40s. It was falling into the $40 level. I sold $20 puts for AMD. When everybody was panicking, I sold $20 puts, and they paid me more than $2 for it. So somebody panicked and said, please buy my shares at 20 if it goes there, and here a couple of grand for it. Sign me up. I couldn't sell enough, right? Sure, I'll buy AMD at 20, break even at 18. So that was the trade that they chose to do. I was there for their panic. I did my homework and was like, yep, I'll take your risk. Here you go. Here's your insurance policy, or here's your losing lottery ticket. So I like those trades where I can look out a couple of weeks, couple of months, 6 months, a year, and set a trade and not worry about it. Other people, like somebody's asking, how would I trade SQQQ and TQQQ on Monday? Very carefully and on 15-second charts. And I'm not going to answer it here because it's futile. Come join us and I'll show you exactly how we'll trade it tick for tick. Here, it doesn't suit the purpose. It doesn't fit in the context of conversation here.
Right. And
you will trade it with solid levels and not at the open. At the open, you may take risk.
Has a really interesting comment there, Tommy. Basically, what I'm going to say there, Tommy, is that even if you feel, like sometimes that it could be a little overwhelming when you're starting brand new, that's really a good thing because you're really challenging yourself. And the most important thing is that you have an instructor, you have a mentor, you have a partner. And Nick is basically there for you the whole day. So you're not doing this on your own. It's not like you take a class and you go read the book and come back a year later for the test. This is something that is very hands-on. It's very, I understand if you haven't seen it a lot, but Nick does this 9 to 5. I don't know how he does it, but he's there the whole day, literally.
So somebody's asking, how do I do it? This or bang all day. APPH. Okay, so advice. So this is a question where I never run into. Never. So the question is valid. Rajesh has calls in a ticker and he could not get out of it. The real statement is he could not get out of it at a price he wants, right? So what is it? APPH. I don't know what that is. There's no APPH.
It's like a farming, like eco farming company.
I don't have it here. Is it Pink Sheets?
APPH. That's AAPH, I think.
Oh, APPH. All right. So when a contract is like this, I wouldn't touch it. This is not a tradable contract for options. Do not trade options that look like this. 31, 32 options on Friday. Do not do it. You're not going to find buyers or sellers. I would not trade this in options. I repeat, I don't know why they have weeklies. This is ridiculous. I would not trade this in options. So the answer is that's not a problem you're going to run into if you avoid trading stocks like this in options. In other words, use stock. It's a $3 stock. You're paying 25 cents in options that disappear in 19 days. Pay the $3 to own the stock. And the time is not a critical element anymore. Yeah, I would not touch this in options.
Jerry,
Right.
quick question there. When does the deal expire? It expires at midnight, Jerry. I forgot to mention that, sorry, but it's pretty much till midnight that we give all the giveaways there included.
So your calls expire in 1.5 years. So you clearly have, how is that? 1.5 years. You can't. There's February, January 24, whichever ones. Anyway, I still wouldn't do it with calls. You're paying 80 cents. I mean,
your friend Doc is in the chat room saying hello, by the way, on the YouTube
hey Doc,
side.
we mentioned him earlier. He shares his screen. Okay. You can use a free trial enough to purchase subscription. Yeah. Literally, yes. there's the plan from Travis. I like that. No free trial.
We've all been in your shoes. Whatever stage you're in, it helps to relate. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Something is messing up something in the background.
Is it me or you?
Huh?
Is it me or you? Something.
I didn't touch anything. Somebody's messing around with our recording. So you got trolls on your end. You got trolls. My screen, my cursor is in your face the whole time. That's not me.
All right. I don't know. This Zoom thing is like, I'm gonna be honest, man. Zoom is talk about Zoom a little bit because the
Get
product
long. Zoom is a good stock right now. So I like your style too, Sam. Join if you can. If you are able, please join. So Zoom, good company. The report wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad either. So as an investment for the long term, this is available if markets hold up this week. If not, the entry point will be in the 70s, like 70 to 72. You may be able to get a bounce. If I'm long the stock, I wouldn't exit out in panic. Sam Charles, you're considering, I would love to have you in there. There are no jerks in there. We have a lot of opinionated people, and every once in a while we disagree on things, but so far it's been pretty orderly, especially with Nick 2.0. 2.0 is much better than 1.0.
As far as the product, if a Zoom representative can contact me, that'd be great. So we don't have this issue again. Now we have Katya on the YouTube side. There's no other chat room with so much attention, sophistication, and fun too.
Wait, that's Katya. That's Katya KRS, right? Or something?
That is the Katya, yes.
Yeah, the Katya. So let me tell you Katya's story. So Katya got introduced to pitchforks, which are trading things like this. And she got into them and studied them for 6 months. And she now helps with finding levels in the live room, to where she said, okay, the S&P is going to be at 4080 by noon. 2 minutes till noon, it was there. So the S&P was like 30 seconds too early on her, but she nailed it hours earlier. What I'm saying is we have several people that share their knowledge and expertise to help the group get better. I have another guy in there named Cypher. He's a whiz with Fibonacci levels and harmonic patterns. This all may be junk to you. I'll make a believer out of you that they're not junk. They're self-fulfilling prophecies. So think about it. If price is going to go where it's going to go, and it's only one place where price is going, all these sciences that are out there, Ichimoku, harmonics, pitchforks, SR levels, MACD, what is that other one? Anyway, the TTM squeeze, all of them, they're trying to hunt that one place, right? So there's only one truth they're trying to tell. So if you specialize in any of those, you're going to come to the right answer. You are going to come to the right answer. Elliott waves. And so we have many people doing the research across many different studies. And if two of us or three of us come to the same answer, that answer is bulletproof, as much as bulletproof can be said in the market. So no, I don't know fractals, but if you want to join and teach us about fractals, I will delve in with you, right? And we'll learn, or we'll rely on your input.
And we have the Mary Trades from the chat there. So Doc says,
"What are you guys doing? You don't have enough." Mary Trades is in there all day, every day. Doc is in there all day, every day. Doc has been sharing his screen after hours. So yes.
Great.
If you want to join Sam and tell us about fractals, we will be all over fractals. Make a believer out of me. I will buy whatever program I need in order to put fractals in motion.
Yeah, we can't talk about the chat room, Nick, without talking about the great community and the great people that are in there.
Somebody's asking me with capital letters. The capital letters will get you no favors in my room. I'm not going to prognosticate. I will take them when they open. I will take it one step at a time. I'm not trading the pre-market, and I'm busy preparing the pre-market for you guys. So personally, I'm not trading. If somebody reaches out, I will share. I will share the levels before the market opens. So if you want to trade it, you can. If the market opens down big time, I will see if there's an opportunity to catch the falling knife for the day, very cautiously. I would, if we open up, I would be telling people whatever was hurting for you on Friday, use this pop to exit. Don't hope it's going to stick. Still new to trading platforms. What are the yellow and blue bars? Those are volume profiles. Volume profiles. So these bars down here are volume bars that tell you when something happened. These are more important because they tell you at what level they happened. You know how they say there's a gap in the chart? Gap in the chart? Well, it's not the gap that matters. It's the fact that there's no volume. So if you lose that, if on the way up, you break through this, you have open air. So if they break through this, they go whoop, because there's no volume to be resistance. Does this include the Benzinga Pro subscription? That's a question for Hot Rod.
Yeah, I put the link in there, folks, but just reach out. And I do have to really quick here, give a big shout out to somebody who's very important here, right? And all the members are very important, right? ZX Trade 4722. I want to give you a warm welcome in the chat. Go ahead, welcome ZX, our newest member here of the Opposites chat room. Let's go, baby.
Right on. So I'm exhausted today, and I have, after we're done here, which we're not, but after we're done here, I have another presentation, almost a one-on-one with one of the members that needed help with something, and I had promised them. So I'm going to get them to understand a couple of concepts. And then later on, I'm going to have a video. So if I don't answer you today or welcome you today, reach out to me tomorrow and say, I'm the new guy, I'm the new girl. Kelly, pop in and say, this is me. Pop into the live room if you can, even for like 20 minutes, so we can give you a proper welcome and orient you.
Yeah, and we've been here for about an hour and 30 minutes. So if we do, whenever we do, when Nick moves on and he goes to his session there with the member, just know that I'll stick around here. I'm going to show the platform for all the people that joined, basically like a quick walkthrough, right? And feel free to ask any questions about Nick's trading, program and all that stuff. Correct. Nick will be posting something, I believe, either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So make sure you're there. And but yeah, Nick, do you have any closing remarks here on the markets, or anything that you do want to cover before anything? The chat room.
Remember the pain. Remember the pain. Okay. This doesn't guarantee you a green day thereafter. All right. So I want to let me tell you something. My most hated person on the planet this year is where is it? This guy. Can we cuss? No, we can't. This gentleman is Powell. He's the head of the Federal Reserve. So the reason I'm mentioning him, because this correction that happened in the middle of June, right there, this is the most violent correction that I've ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating. These candles, I don't remember ever seeing gap down, massive red, big gap, massive red, bigger gap, massive red, red, gap up, gap down, and then finally. It's this because he started talking too bearishly. He started saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And he cannot do this and he cannot do that. You want proof? So Friday, he had a speech scheduled. Thursday, we rallied to high heaven. Apparently, these idiots out there, the market experts, expected him to become soft. Who expected that? So when he didn't become soft, they threw a hissy fit about it, and that's a tantrum. So in reality, here's what happened. Pay attention to this concept. When a Federal Reserve, when a central bank, the ECB in Europe, when they start being hawkish, what he's doing, the dollar, their currency, pops, and so do rates, because his threat is that he wants to raise rates. Rates fell on Friday. The TLT popped. That's the price of the bond, popped a lot. That means rates fell a lot, which means what I've been saying, Powell cannot raise rates. He's tied. He's going to have to stop raising rates because he will break the country. What he's doing is he's controlling demand. So he's causing, for example, you have a shortage of cars. Let's say you have one Silverado truck and you have 20 buyers. They're going to outbid themselves. And you're going to sell it over ask. So he can't control the supply because we have one Silverado truck. So what he can do, he can make sure we don't have 20 buyers. How can he do that? He can cause people to be fired or think they're going to get fired, so they stop spending. Think about it. What happened since the middle of June? All companies said they're stopping the hiring, all major companies, and some of them are firing already. Ask your friends and family. You know somebody that either is thinking about getting fired or they are getting fired, or there are no openings anymore. So he's trying to destroy demand, having fewer buyers available to control inflation, which he created. He helped create inflation last year. And this year, he's, in order to fix the table and chair, last year, he took the leg off the chair to fix the table. This year, he's taking the table off the chair. The leg off the table to put it back onto the chair. This guy, how is he still in his job? Anyway, so emotions are high. Control your own. Use your head. These drops are scary, but they're creating opportunities. The only reason the Fed is so nasty is because the economy is so good. But recession, we don't have a recession. What we have now is something we don't have a word for. So I made up one. Are you ready? Excession. Excessive spending, excessive cash, recessive reports from the government. GDP bullshit report. What? Yeah. Anyway, we have excession. We have something that we've never had before. The economy, companies are reporting record earnings, record levels of revenues and okay earnings. They're missing estimates. They're growing. They're missing estimates. Who reported last week and grew 40% and fell? CRM? I think CRM. They grew 40% or 20%, 40 in sales. And the stock fell. So I went long. I bet you I'll make money on the trade. So anyway, so these drops, take the emotions out and look for opportunities. Right? Fidelis, I thought it was good. I made it up on the fly. Feel free to use it, but give me credit for it. What signal indicator do I use for T1, T2? Ron, this is a harmonic, and it's not an indicator. If you know how to draw harmonics, you can draw them yourselves. I don't. It's a science. So you pay whatever you pay for the indicator, and you use it many times. If you don't know what harmonics are, it's a set of forms. There are 7 of them, and there's one called the cipher. They have specific rules of engagement. So you can train yourself to see these rules, or you can pay for a program that actually does it for you and says, hey, we do have a harmonic. Hey, we do have a harmonic. They're not trade alerts. They're a path. They're saying, seeing this path in his mathematical historicals, it suggests target 1 and target 2. But I also do a lot of targets from my own eyeball. You'll join my style. I'm an engineer. I'm not a Wall Street guy. I figured this stuff on my own. My skills on charts are more like crayon skills. Like I literally use crayons basically, but I'm extremely accurate. You'll see. It's freaky at times, but it's a lot of fun to beat the Wall Street guys at their own game. Whew. There. What else do you guys need?
Right. No, I mean, that's been a pretty good session, man. And I really like how you break down the Fed actions, Fed talk. Most people, when they start out trading, they don't even know what the Fed is or what it does, you know? So
right. The Fed, just to let you know, the Fed was created to do 2 things. Number 1, create jobs, make sure that there's employment. Number 2, without creating inflation. Those are the 2 jobs that the Fed has. That's it, right? So last year they said, you got to create jobs. We shut down the world for a year. You got to create jobs. He said, okay, what's my budget? They said the moon. So the White House was spending trillions, and so was he spending trillions. So they created way too many jobs. And that's why we have a 3% unemployment rate in the 3s, which is full employment by any standard. If you went to MBA school in the last 30 years, that was full unemployment, 5%. And we have 3.5 now or something like that. But yeah, they also said don't create inflation. And what did he say last year? Transitory. Oh, it's transitory. Don't worry about it. I'm creating inflation, but it's well under control, right? And this year he says, holy crap, no, it wasn't transitory. Oh, panic, panic. Now he has to destroy jobs, part of his job, in order to control the beast he helped create last year. It's not all his fault, but he's now definitely the one that's making it worse.
The weird thing, Nick, is that you're right, full employment, but like real wages are basically down because of inflation. So it's like they told you one thing, but you didn't really get it. You just think you got it, right?
All I know is all my friends are spending like fools. And I'm not talking about rich friends. My friends are from the gym. I fight for a sport. So they're either fighters or aspiring fighters or prior fighters. So they're on budgets. But for the most part, they are hourlies. And so they should be frugal, but they're out every night. They buy Nike shoes. Like, what? I buy my shoes at Costco. $20 Adidas are good for me. Anyway, it's just a weird scenario. What I'm saying is that we don't have anything like this in the past. So to say, historically, this is what happens. But there's no historicals to this. This is something new. We don't have this. This is crazy stuff. I'm glad I'm alive during this period of time because they're going to write books about it.
Right. And even the experts, right, are confused. But that's the thing, man. You watch CNBC, you're in another planet, and do yourself a favor, just
turn off CNBC.
Turn off the news. And that's something that really it impacts new traders, like really. But then once you explain it to them and really the process behind it, they really understand. Oh, well, that's probably I should not be buying everything that they're talking about on CNBC or what Kramer says you should buy.
That's right. So I'm going to tell you one thing. CNBC is not there to make you money. Their only goal, they have one goal, is to make more money for themselves. And by what? By making you watch. So what they're going to do is they're going to create crisis out of nothing. They're going to tell you the all-important Fed minutes. And here's what we learned from the Fed minutes. You didn't learn crap from the Fed minutes. These events happened 3 weeks ago. The Fed that same day told us what the events were, what the decision was. They had 30 speeches before the minutes were released. What you learn from the minutes is who likes mustard on their sandwich. That's what you learned. And it's immaterial, but they got you to watch. They got you to think it's an event when it's not. Friday was an event because he was about to speak. I said, if he says something new, he should be shot. Not really. He should be fired because he is making policy outside of policy meetings. We have policy meetings for a reason. He shouldn't be making policy. And he didn't. He said the same thing as he did before. But the market was stupid. On Thursday, they rallied too much, thinking he's going to say something good and change policy. He's not going to change policy. He's going to, if he was nasty, he was going to stay nasty. If he was nice, he was going to stay nice. And he just said the same things. So people expected something different and they threw a tantrum. Let's hope it's a one-day fit. You know what? Somebody mentioned, did you guys see this company, Jay-Z? Can somebody tell me what they do? This is an IPO on Friday. Look at this, 186 to 18. So what if a big house, a hedge fund was so involved into it too late and they got a margin call because they got cut 10x and they had to sell across the board millions of shares of whatever they owned? What if that was the case that helped to the Friday debacle? I don't know. I'm not from Wall Street. Maybe you guys can tell me. But this is an IPO from 186 to 18 in hours. So how much pain was there that made that happen? And what were their margin calls? Did they need to liquidate anything else in order to fix the problem that was unfolding for them here? I don't know. I'm speculating. But let's hope it's a 1 or 2 day tantrum, like a kid at Toys R Us wanting to leave with the Jeep that drives.
Nick, before we do, wrap this up and everything, let me ask you, because I don't think you covered this, take on the real estate sector.
Well, I would avoid it just from the sheer sake of, if indeed he's going to break rates, they're in this line of fire. So give me one. Home Depot, no.
About Lennar, maybe?
Lennar, L-E-N. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so.
If we go to daily, so here's a stock. I don't care what it is. When it was down here, I said avoid it. I said I would rather be long the market, because if it, you can't see it. So the daily shows that it bounced off the low, 34%, which was slightly more than the market. At the bottom, I said I would avoid them just in case. I would rather be long the SPY. So if you did that, you made money as well. I know, because Hot Rod took my screen. I'm speaking to it. So long story short, they do have support. For example, Lennar into 76 and 72. They do have a trigger positive. If you can get to 90 or higher, the last hurdle is at 92, you can get to 104. That's the bottom line. You have support below and resistance above, which could be a catalyst. So if you trade Lennar, I just said the levels you need to find out. Track 89, easy to remember, with 92 resistance immediately. If you can clear those two, 104 is doable. So you either buy the breakout from those levels, or you buy the dip into 76 or 72. In fact, I'm going to put an alert right now for me.
Right. Well, Nick, big shout out here, man. I know that a lot of the folks here that joined, they're going to stick around so that they can get a walkthrough of the chat room, and I'll show them a couple of videos there as we go. But big shout out there for Nick Chahine, lead trader, options inner circle chat room, baby. Let's go. All right, Nick. Well, thanks a lot, brother. I know you put in a lot of time and effort into this. The members love you. Doc is always, he never misses a session. These people are like family at this point, I feel.
They are. It's a good camaraderie in there. Hopefully we can make more money for the rest of the year. I don't want anybody to leave, but I want people to get enough skills to be able to leave if they want to and just choose to stay. I had one guy says he needed to leave. He had learned so much. He's been with me for years and years. And he reached out and he said, I'm going to cancel that. But he gave me a specific reason. He said, I am so confident with my skills right now. And because of my life, I cannot be in here and that and there, and I'm just doing what you taught me. And that's just like the happiest cancellation message I've ever had in my life. I'm like, fly free, friend, fly free.
Yeah, and that's really the goal, right? You know, where you help people, and most
Well,
people just stick
no,
around to get
because
help,
no, the
right?
goal
Or
is to help them enough to be able to do that. But I want them here so I can leverage their knowledge to help me make more money. Because the more, like, for example, I mentioned that I fight for a sport. I want a gym where everybody's getting better. Like yesterday, I sparred with a kid. He's now 18. Last time I sparred with him, he was 16, and he upped his game. So now I have to up my game. Yeah, he kicked me in the head. I was like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? So now I have to up my game to spar with him. So that's how we get ourselves better and better.
right, that's amazing, dude. So Nick, any closing remarks here on your end before we do move on here to the walkthrough?
No, that's it. Just be careful with what you're doing, and be unemotional. Look at the levels and the risk factor, and never take a trade that you cannot explain. Like, why did you take it now? Oh, I thought it was going to go up. No, give me a reason why now. That's it.
Right. Well, there you go, folks. Nick Chahine, lead trader. Let's go. All right, Nick, I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow.
All right. I will be there later. Bye. Thank you.
All right. Perfect, folks. And that's Nick Chahine, lead trader. And I'm going to show you guys here the platform where Nick is there the whole day. He was talking about he's posting trades and, you know, talking with the members. That's pretty much what I'm going to show you guys, especially for the people that just joined. Make sure that you check your email. If you don't see it on your inbox, look in the spam or junk. And there's an email basically to collect the address. All right. And the address is basically the address that you want us to basically send it to, right? Send the laptop to. Really quick, I do have to give a big shout out here to Ken Nolan, 687. Ken, if you're in the chat, make yourself seen. Let's go. A new member, a new family member. That's really amazing. So let's go ahead and get on with the walkthrough here. What you guys are seeing, sorry. What you guys are seeing here are two channels, right? Okay, two channels. The inner circle chat is where everybody is posting, right? Nick Chahine, all the members. We got Doc there. I think that's, I don't know if that's Absolute Doc, if that's the same Doc that we're talking about that's on the YouTube side, but you can see that it's a very interactive chat room, right? It's a lot more than a chat room. That's just the method of communication. But as far as the knowledge that goes through this chat, you definitely want to be engaged. And even if you're not participating, like chatting and all that, you learn so much just by seeing what other people are asking and what the answer to that is. Again, you don't know what you don't know, right? You didn't think about a question and then somebody else did think about that question. They're going to ask it, they get an answer, and you learn from something that you couldn't formulate the question before, if that makes sense. So that's really why I do see a lot of value here in this particular chat room for the learning side, the communication, the communicating with Nick back and forth throughout the whole day. Seriously, it's 9 to 5. That's not like, you know, we mean it. That's the actual time he's there. So when we first started, Nick was coming from a session that he does on Sundays from 10 to 1. And basically this is the session here. I just want to show you a little bit of that. And before we do show the video, some of the videos, and if you do want sound alerts, right here, you see these bells that I'm clicking. Now you see that they're yellow. So that means that sound alerts are on. And if I click this, the sound alerts are off. So typically, you know, you'll have your sound alerts here. You'll have this tab open somewhere, wherever. You could even do this from your work or anywhere, like really. It's on a browser, you know. Now, the education side, some of you folks were asking me, where are the videos for the education with Nick? This is what I consider a starter kit for options traders, right? This is basically what you need for, not just for, well, basic survival, you could say, right? Like, what are the actual definitions of a call, of a put, of a spread, of a credit put spread, of options in general, right? That'd be the first thing. Really understand what they actually mean and not get some mumbo jumbo, you know, definition, right? Get like a real person giving you a real explanation that everybody can understand and grasp. So credit put spreads, what is a credit put spread? right? If you don't know what that is, this is Nick's favorite trade. And I'll explain it to you in a little bit as well. But basically, this is such an amazing tool for traders, especially if you're starting out. Look at this, risk management, right? When to book or set a stop loss, when and how to book profits. This is very important stuff, guys. All right. Cash settled options using the comparison of XPS versus SPY options. Lesson breakout versus swing trades. How to pick what type of trade to buy. What type of trade, right? You can buy a call, you can sell a put, you can do so many different types of trades with options. Important to know when to use each one, right? And then what type of trade is best for that particular situation. So these two videos here are amazing. You should definitely take a look at those. All right, so that's all included. Hassan has a question. Is it 1782 for the year? Yes, that is for the year until midnight. That's when the deal's off. But basically, you get we're doing a laptop giveaway for everybody that joins, and then I'm also adding 2 bonus items on the fly right now. 2 bonus items for everybody that joins. Basically, these are going to be additional extra trade alerts that you're going to get from my brother here, Nick Chahine. Okay. But you do have to join before midnight. That's all I'm asking. Okay. Ron, it does not. No, it does not. 1 second here. All right, Ron, I sent you a message there on the Zoom chat. Let me know if you copy that. Thomas, midnight Eastern, midnight. Yeah, midnight. I mean, not Eastern. Obviously, you know, we have some people watching that are like in California or some other place, but send it. I'm going to put my email here as well. If anybody does have like a question or something like that, send an email. I'll be more than happy to help you out. See what I can do for you. Chad, it is one payment for the year, basically. So it's annual. Correct. Ron's asking about, Ron, did you get my message there I put on top? Let's see about the crypto portion. So yeah, he does cover crypto on the chat room. That is true. Yes. As far as what crypto broker he uses, I don't know. I do know that he's really into the space. He's gotten very into a lot of things there, like hosting and mining and whatnot. I think if you're into crypto stuff, okay, perfect, Ron. I think if you're into the crypto stuff, then you know this is probably just going to be like a cherry on top of the cake for you. But yeah, you can see options is really the main deal there. Okay, so before I move on here to the next segment, does anybody have any other questions about the chat room or the deal before I go ahead and put on a quick video here from Nick? Let me know in the chat. If there's any other questions about the chat, I put my email there as well. Let me put it there on the YouTube side. And then if there's no questions, then you can let me know. And then we can go on to the video here. I'll give you guys, I think there's like a delay on YouTube. So I'll give you guys here like a minute. All right, Tamara, good question there. Yes, the laptop will be sent after the money back guarantee. That is correct. Doc wants to scroll to the bottom of the chat. That's the video we're going to look at, Doc, the one from the Sunday charts. I'll show a little bit of that. Yo, yeah, so that is Doc. So yeah, absolute Doc is the Doc. That's what you mean, Doc? Okay. So yeah, as you can see, the community here is definitely fun, right? It's definitely fun. It's we only have it yearly, Hassan. So it'd be one for the year. So Doc is I mean, he's been there for a while. He helps a lot. And really there's a lot of like amazing members like that, really, you know, that but I can tell you Doc is always there. He's always on the chats. He's always helping new people. He's always trying to be helpful around the chat room. And I'm telling you, like there's a good feeling, there's a good vibe. It's really hard to explain it, but there's just a good energy, right? There's a very good energy there in the chat room. So I think we are good to go here for the video. I think so, right?
Starting the recording.
All right. Okay, folks. So I'm going to show you probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes around there. We're talking about a video that's probably 2, 3 hours long or way longer. So there's different segments of the video, as you can see. So I'm just going to show you guys just like a little bit of this, so you get a sense really of how those meetings on Sunday go. All right. So let's go ahead and get this going here.
28 Sunday after a pretty ugly Friday. If you were a bull, if you were a bear, you made bank. So I will have a separate video later tonight after the futures open, describing what happened and why it is normal, but in an abnormal way. In other words, the way Friday unfolded was ugly and not usual. But the price action from the bottom to the top to the drop so far is normal, however painful it is, because the rally was too big, basically. The drop, as normal as it is relative to the rally, is abnormal to our feelings, because the way the markets fell apart on Friday, it's like something broke, and they overdid it. So maybe somebody had margin calls. I mean, as silly as there was an IPO, Jay-Z, whatever it does, went up to $180 and ended up 18. So maybe somebody got called on some margins there 10 times. So I have no idea. I'm just speculating. Anyway, the levels are not unreasonable, but the way they were unfolded are. So let's just tackle one company at a time. I'm going to try to do a couple of videos if I have time about big companies and address what I would do, and maybe that would give people ideas as to what there is to do and what there isn't to do. There will be a sheet in the video description that has a list of all the tickers in this video. I'm going to break it up into 3 different videos, and I have specific answers. For example, if I'm long a stock and I say, okay, I'm still long that stock, but I didn't add to my long. In other words, a 4% drop is not reason to add more to my risk, because I don't know anything new now that I didn't know on Thursday. So if that's the case, I shouldn't add. Some stocks I would engage, but I would start, not all in, and I wouldn't add. Anyway, I will point them out once we get to them, and they'll serve as examples. Palantir is one of them. Okay, so this is Alcoa. Doing relatively well, down 2% on a hideous day is not unusual. It is going into a resistance zone. So 62 area, there should be sellers there. This was our target from before, and they delivered. So it's okay for them to fall down to here and bounce. This green one was this target, and that delivered as well. I kept it there for visual reference that we saw this possibility, we saw this possibility. So if we dip to 52.5, it shouldn't be crazy. It would be an opportunity to enter. Apple, it's not even close to being where I would buy it. And that's the same statement, I think, on Amazon and all of those. I put these new to show that maybe, it's not confirmed, we are in a descending channel. That's an important statement for the whole market. Listen to that part and apply it to all the stocks and the indices. The fact that Apple lost 166, it targets 157, roughly, inside of a descending channel. So it may not go straight there, but if it bounces, expect a sell-off and a lower low. And if it bounces, expect a sell-off and a lower low. I'm saying expect it. Doesn't mean I want you to short it. I want you to take advantage of the rallies to fix the problems. So if you bought Apple on Friday and then you lost money, and then it bounces on Monday and gives you back most of your money, and if it was short-term trade, I would use that bounce to exit. So are they selling rallies is the question. That's why I put this there. I'll repeat, this is important and applies to the whole market. I want to assume that this triggers this target down here, and that's the same for the SPY. Trust me, I'll show you numbers later. So I want to again assume that we're now in a descending channel for the next week. So rallies should not be chased. They should be used to exit problem trades. So this is not an obvious entry point for Apple. Not even a place where I would start longs. You know what I did with Apple? I shorted it up here and I went long with a credit put spread. So now I have an iron condor for which I collected a lot of money and I can sit tight with it. I will be safe, I think, with it. I don't know what that is. Apps. I think that's a typo. Maybe it's this one that they wanted. We'll assume that is the case. Okay, so it is falling into a support zone. It's giving up almost half of its rally, so it should find buyers into 19. It has support into 19. So if I'm long this company and I haven't closed my longs, I would not panic out of them because the easy pain is done and it has a buying opportunity here for a dip, rally, maybe. So not a place to panic out. AbbVie also falling into support, although it did lose some important support last week. I would take longs into that. So as it approaches 135, as a trader, I would be okay taking longs with a tight stop. That's an important statement. So if I lose this, I don't want to find out how low it can go. So I would exit. From an investment perspective, I would have to zoom out a little bit. I definitely would exit. If you lose this one, it could go to 120. It could, if the market's correct and all of that. On its own, maybe it doesn't, but it could. So avoid it. Avoid the trip down there. Adobe. Wow, why so choppy? It wasn't an obvious entry point. That's not Adobe, that's AD. I'm like dyslexic today. Most likely they're asking for Adobe and I put ABDE. Actually, I didn't. I copied and pasted from them. Maybe they mistyped it. Hopefully they want this one. Anyway, almost same as AbbVie. It should have support immediately. It's not going to be a hard floor. And if the market falls, it will fall. Closer to 360, I would be interested in it. So I don't trade Adobe often, but I'm going to put an alert for myself to maybe sell a put spread a little bit lower. So if this week gets uglier, and here's how I'm approaching this week. It's going to be opportunistic. I'm looking to, remember my statement from 2 weeks ago when the market was going to the moon? I'm looking to buy the dips, but I haven't seen dips worthy enough in general, except for spotty entrances. And now we're approaching that level. So I believe I shared a credit put spread to somebody at some point. So I would do it. Has support. If you lose this one, you can exit from a trade perspective because it probably is going to go to 290. It's not a forecast, it's just a warning. Rallies will face sellers. ADI, arguably you triggered a bearish pattern here that could target 152. Be careful. You do have support, but you can easily fall another $5 given the right conditions. Anywhere in here, I would be interested in it if I was looking to get long in this cluster right there. Affirm, I'm looking to catch the falling knife, and it was a machete. They reported earnings. I can't remember the particulars, but we can readdress it. So it did what we thought it was going to do on the way up, and then some. And now they're giving back some of it, half of it, roughly. I'm eyeballing a little bit more than half. So it is catchable. All this is support. I would be interested in an investment for the long term. It's a good company business. The business model is good. AIG falling back into support. This rally was crazy stupid. Ooh, he used the S word. Gap down here, not necessarily important to fill all of it, but it just gives you a visual target for somebody who's shorting it. So maybe they say, I'll short it into 52. So has a lot of support. If it gets into the gap, then it's buyable. Here, okay, I guess so. But not for me. Align Technology, that's the tooth fixing things where you, anyway, you know what that is. You do not want to lose this because then you open questions of 216, 220. Giant head and shoulders. Until then, this is support. This is volume support. This is level support with support below it, 3 of them. So if I didn't close my longs on Friday, I would wait a few days to see how these are going to perform. However, I risk, if it loses this one, it targets down here. So I will use rallies to get out of trouble. So this is for Rez from Australia. Great breakout. I believe we need to go to a daily, if not weekly, to see that. All right, so this is not an obvious entry point. If I was long, I would have exited my longs. This is an incredible pop. Overdid my estimate. Passed through some pretty important.
All right, folks, and just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into the Sunday session that Nick does. As you can see, he goes over hundreds of tickers, literally. Okay, and you can find trade ideas as well here. These could be stocks that maybe you don't know, right? And then you look at the stock and suddenly you're talking with Nick about a stock you've never seen or heard about. And so this is really where you can see a lot of the value, right? Where you have all these resources that are given to you, right? And keep in mind, I think Kelly's asking about a particular stock, about going long. The good thing is that since you have this recording there, right, you can just jot down the stocks that you like from that entire 100 and something ticker list, and you can get the symbols that you are interested in and follow up with Nick live in the room and also in the live room. Okay. This is the static chat room. Okay. This is 24/7 open. However, we do have a separate live room. It's included here. But Nick will be posting basically the link to log in there, as you can see right here. Let's see right there, live session. So that's where you need to look at, Kelly, when you go into the live room, where you can pretty much, watch his screen and, listen to him. It's like pretty much like Radio Nick all day. So this is the link to join that. It says live session. He will post this link every day, Mondays and Fridays, right? Obviously. So you're always going to see this post in the morning. It's always like about 8 a.m., 8:30, something like that. Let's see. Okay. Well, my watch is off. I think that's California time. I'm not sure. There's something wrong with my watches on my computer. I don't know. I got to reset it. But that's posted at 8, anytime between 8 and 8:30 a.m. So that looks like that was about 8 a.m. converted time. And you'll always see this every day. He will post this. And right there is where you pretty much go to the live session. Then some folks were asking about the SPYs, the Qs, the IWM. Every morning pre-market, he will have all those 3 indexes charted out. The SPYs, the Qs, IWM, and the futures. I know that there's some people that trade futures. I'm getting a little bit into it with E-Trade on that, because they do let you actually trade futures there. But there's a ton of other places you can do that. But again, keep in mind, having this is really important because you can talk about futures with Nick. And that's something that a lot of people, they want to get more familiar with. They just don't know where to start. All right, let's see. Luzana has a pretty interesting, I don't know if that's a question, but let's read it here really quick. Hey, Rod, Luzana. Correct, it is not. This is separate. So this has nothing to do with Benzinga Pro. This is totally separate. But if you already have Benzinga Pro, you can still get the deal. Just email me and I'll work something out for you. That's totally fine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they're different chat rooms. So Nick's chat room is separate from that. But again, if you have Pro, just reach out. I'll put my contact there. And just know the office is closed. We're not open on the weekends, but except, yeah, I mean, but look, if somebody has questions or anything like that about the chat room, feel free to reach out. And I'll be happy to kind of go over some of the details and things like that. And I think we covered everything there, folks. We covered the majority of the chat room, the education videos, the live room, the Sunday session. Yeah. Again, Thomas, anybody here that has Pro can get this deal. Even if you have Pro or if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. I'll work something out for you. I'm a pretty flexible dude. So as long as you're happy, that is the policy, right? The user has to be happy. That's my way of looking at it. So just reach out. It doesn't hurt to reach out and ask, right? And I'm going to answer. Okay. So even if it's Sunday, I'm still going to respond to your emails. I might not be on the phone, obviously, all day, but I'm going to answer every single email if you guys have questions so that by Monday morning, you guys, if you do want to join the chat room with Nick, you can do it. And remember, you have the 30-day money back guarantee. I don't know who else would do that. 30 days is just off the charts. It wasn't my call, but I'll tell you, it definitely is good for you guys, right? You can really sample the pudding, as they say. So I think we covered everything, folks. Big thank you for all you guys. Luzana, Thomas, I will see you guys there in the chat room. Chuck, we're welcome. I will see you there too as well. Ron, hopefully I can see you there. Hassan, Thomas, Bryce, folks, I hope I can see you there. It's fun. It's been amazing and very fun here. If you think this is cool, check out the chat. No kidding. It gets very, very fun throughout the day, right? We have to kind of ease off a bit sometimes because, you know, we're working the whole day, and having a community that can enjoy what they do, love what they do, help each other out, just makes everything a lot better, right? So folks, have a great weekend. Stay safe. And I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow with Nick Chahine. Make sure you send over your questions and emails. And in case I didn't say it before, just a reminder here, anybody that joins today before midnight gets a free laptop. You get the whole thing with Nick Chahine. And remember, right, I'm giving 2 bonus items for everybody that joins. Anybody that joins the chat room will get additional extra bonus trade alerts that I hooked you guys up with, right? That all of that is until midnight. But if you have questions, or maybe you're in Switzerland, or you're in Europe, or you're in a totally different time zone and it complicates things for you, send me an email. I'll work with you. No worries. Big shout out to all you guys. And we will see you guys tomorrow in the chat room. Have a great weekend, folks.